time, it's also how proactive GameLab is in that game one. It really felt like they didn't give any breathing room over to PBN Strike. Not that PBN Strike didn't want to make the moves, they just were not given space to do so. Right now they get to respond. Then back on that red side, GameLabs will be on blue for game number 2. We get the priority shift, and I want to see how PBN Strike responds because they get to be reactive.
Yeah, and speaking of reactions as well, let's talk about the bans real quick as well. Fanny needs to be taken out. GameLab, they're taking it away, considering that they have a Kufra player. So it's a little bit surprising that they don't want to take the risk, but it's pretty much standard bans across from both sides. Mortis should be the one as well. Valentina going to be sneak pass. Maybe GameLab wants to play around the Valentina again. It's had huge success with Aizawa, but the Kaja first pick from the side of PBN Strike, I think you brought it up in the previous draft as well. Is it the best first pick material? Personally, I think it's okay, but because of the fact that they have a Valentina from Aizawa, that makes it a little bit more difficult because you're giving away free kits for a Valentina benefit off, and this time GameLab, they just take it off the equation.
Yeah, I just don't want to do with it at all. I mean,
look at the homer, look at the stats and the numbers. They've done everything from GameLab.
Honestly, I love these kind of things. I've had the pleasure of viewing, Excel sheets like these.
Where do they get the numbers and stats? How hard have they been working out for this tournament?
You can only imagine the amount of screenshots that they have post-game, pre-game, and every single
Production,
one.
can you do me a favor? Screenshot that thing and zoom in on what the heck is that in this paper? Is that hero pick rates? Is this what? No. He's just got a big
I can tell you what it is. Okay, it's definitely blue side, red side pick, and bans.
Yeah,
and also,
you're just judging all based on the color of the data sheet on you.
It's pretty, I mean, I've seen data sheets that is similar to that. I know that every single team have their own iterations, but you kind of follow the same formula to a certain extent.
Okay. Fair enough. But Moskov being banned out from GameLab, they are just understanding that this hero is just so annoying to work with. I don't see it as a super strong early engagement, but it's really great as a setup potential, as a fallout mechanics, right? You go in for stun, you try and find an angle for the stun with the Moskov, and you immediately prolong the fight longer than you should. It's kind of similar to an early Selena arrow duration, which oftentimes gets you killed. In this case, I don't think they want to take a risk. Kadita being banned off means GameLab will first pick that glue.
Yeah, and this is a pick, in the last game, I mean, her boss has been terrorizing PBN Strike the entire game. PBN Strike now, they get to respond again. I think the Valentina, the Farsa, these heroes are up in the pool. And so far, Farsa has had a 100% win rate today. And is one of those heroes where you can first phase it, it doesn't really matter too much. But PBN Strike, you gotta pick these two opening picks very carefully. The fact that you get to react to that glue.
Yeah, when it comes to this kind of pickoffs as well, I think based on the draft itself, I'm a little bit surprised on how the draft kind of disappeared in front of my face, but I want to see how they deal with this glue pickup. So far, we haven't had a really strong iteration to actually deal with it. We've seen Faramis compositions, we've seen potential Baxia pickups, we've seen a couple of Lapu Yuzhong as well. I think the Fredrin pickup is something that they may consider dealing with it, but as of yet, I'm a little bit curious on how PBN Strike is going to focus on as well. Considering that Moscow's taken out equation, I'm feeling a little bit of Beatrix pickup from both sides.
Yeah, I think that could be, that actually is something that I think GameLab can go for as well. The first two picks
it was
coming
flipped,
through.
okay.
Oh, so PBN Strike is on the blue side. So they get the glue. GameLab goes back for...
Okay, now it makes more sense.
Yeah, now GameLab goes back for Kufra and Farsa, and now the Brody and Fredrin comes through from PBN Strike. A bit more of a solid opening.
Okay, now it makes more sense, considering that I was wondering why they banned out the Moskov. Like, GameLab kind of likes it a little bit more. Now it makes more sense. Yeah. But reaction-wise, glue on PBN Strike. Fredrin also denied as well, but GameLab, they bring in the Link. And I believe that so far, all the Link games that has been brought out, only GameLab has had a very, very good success with it.
Yeah, only GameLab has won a game with Link. Just now we saw Zian on ALVA 8, that one was a completely different Link. That one is Link in Mandarin. 0. Nothing.
Wow. Ling, wow, okay, you've thought that far ahead, Okay, just for a little bit of context, in Mandarin, Ling means 0, and Ling, and they lost, 0 win rate. Okay, never mind, let's scrap the ideology. If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, it's fine. But at the same time, now I want to talk about how the playstyles are going to be a little bit more different. Because PBN's right, they're using comfort heroes coming from GameLab. They're sticking with the first pick Kufra as well. So this is a little bit more of a question mark, because if you think about it, Kufra is great in countering mobility heroes, but against a hero like Fredrin and Glue, I don't think the Kufra can do too much, especially with the Brody as well, which is kind of concerning because it feels like and shown their cards a little bit too early to allow PBN Strike to deal with this Kufra.
Yeah, I mean, Glue, like, both Glue and Fredrin wants you to be up close and personal, right? Glue sticks onto you, Fredrin generally, like, he's not good at catching people, but if you're in front of him, then sure, he'll take the invitation. GameLab going for both the Hilda and the Valentina ban. Obviously, you want to ban the Hilda to protect the Ling early on, and PBN Strike going for the classic Melissa ban once more, which has been a very popular marksman in recent times.
I think Tiger Wong Esports has done this matchup in the sense where they brought in heroes to actually deal with the lane. Invading is something that's very, very important, right? So GameLabs, the only thing they need to play in terms of game plan is to make sure that this lane doesn't get completely contested. And in this case, I feel like Franco is a great way to kind of reset his way through. Kufra can actually kind of deny it. And in terms of jungle invades, GameLab doesn't have the strongest defense to actually force a fight. Like Kufra, you can block mobility, but if they completely ignore you, it means nothing. PBN Strike as well, you have Glue, you can go for an invade. Fredrin is pretty good in invade as well. Natalia, amazingly annoying as well. Seems like that is going to be the support Natalia coming from PBN Strike. Great way to deal with both the Farsa as well as the Ling. We haven't seen this pickup for a very, very long time. The last time I saw a lot of despite the multiple nerfs on Natalia, was ever since Falcon Esports Naomi played it during MSC last year. And even then, there was a nerf Natalia, and they somehow still made it work. So I'm really curious to see how this Natalia is going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, drops that smoke screen, read again the disruption, right? You being able to prevent your enemies from casting their spells, you take away the mobility from the Ling, you take away the mobility from the... Well, everyone has mobility. Okay, I mean, that's what GameLab has committed to. We get that gold lane Harith. This is the second time we are seeing this particular hero get picked up for that gold lane. I think we saw one yesterday from either Tiger Wong or Evo Esports, but I think PBN Strike has definitely kind of switched up that draft going up against GameLab.
I guess GameLab is going for a strategy where Harith is going to be able to find a way to deal with the Glue as well as the counter altar, right? The crits coming in from the Harith is going to do a lot of damage, but all things considered, they don't have the strongest late game. PBN Strike has a stronger one with the Brody. Hopefully it's going to work out, but time is going to be under the essence of GameLab. Hopefully they will be able to bounce back. They bring in the Paquito XP lane, so who knows? Are we going to see a tight series so far? But I'm liking the ideas coming from PBN Strike a little bit more, even though it's a little bit harder to pull it off.
That is how you kind of really play with that trump card, right? Don't like the Natalia pick. If it came out in phase 1 like the Karina, it would have gone completely different. But of course, PBN Strike, their open finals run is not on the line. Right? If they lose this, they go down to the lower bracket. But for GameLab, again, one game away from securing the first spot into the grand finals.
Yeah, this is going to be a very, very tough battle between both sides as well. GameLab, they're looking to clean out 2-0, but with this draft, I feel my prediction is a little bit of risk right now because as of yet, you might be able to break the curse this time because seeing how this draft, I like the idea that they pick up a Harith on gold lane, but I just don't like the idea that if things don't go well in their favor in the later stage game, this Brody is just completely going to shut down everyone from side GameLab. So it's a high risk, high reward draft. We've seen this coming from ALVA 8. Didn't exactly pay off for ALVA 8, but for GameLab, considering how strong they are in the early stage of game, hopefully Dogman is able to build that momentum that they need to snowball their way through. And I tell you, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, it's one of those drafts where you just don't really have a contingency plan, right? You've locked yourself into a fixed archetype for the game. We are experiencing a tiny bit of a pause, so do stay with us for now and let this tension build up because, you know, by the end of this, there's a chance that he doesn't have 007 anymore, so I think this pause is a very good palate cleanser. Though I do feel like when you look at the draft coming up for PBN Strike, not only are they able to slip the Natalia into that that second phase, but it also makes her a bit more effective. And the fact that GameLab still committed into the Paquito and Harith is a show of confidence.
Well, speaking of harassments here, you can see Takanaga already here to steal off the orange buff away, and that's going to be a good start coming from GameLab. Immediately going for the contest on the orange buff instead of the purple buff means they are going to get kills across the map, and Takanaga will get first blood on this Natalia. Not looking good for PBN Strike, however, great for GameLab for now.
it would make more sense if he had backup, but I mean, it felt really weird though that Leone decided to go for that. He had the execute. He was waiting, I believe, for Takenaga to hit a threshold, but unfortunately he had help, so he couldn't do much. The roam towards that purple bar just to scout out where this Ling is, he is going to miss that timing.
Yeah, I guess GameLab has had a lot of emphasis on making sure to secure the gold lane, but PBN's right, they just don't want the gold lane to be touched. They're shifting the focus, they want to take momentum in their favor and try and punish the Ling. As you can see, GameLab, they're playing a little bit more defensive than the previous game. Aizawa going for the wings by wings, and not sure what he's thinking about it. He might have gotten punished, but considering that PBN is a little bit under level down middle lane, I don't think it's just worth the risk right now. Leone is just looking around, is scouting for information. UTZ will get scouted out. Here comes a dive on the top side. Do they get the kill? But in the bottom lane as well, you can see GameLab, they're making an attempt down to go in for the catch. Nami will get picked off. They lose the Harry up top, but they will be able to trade a bottom kill as well.
It's a 1-4-1, not too shabby. And the fact that they are able to give Blur Zanzai a better start is very important. Leone is just going to face check the brush, get spotted out as they try to push the mid lane in, but Yojichenko doesn't have the call Alta though. Aizawa and Dokman on his tail. Dokman just waiting for the passive to come back up online. Yojichenko is going to get a love tap. Almost going down, forced to pop the call Alta, but that was good enough.
Oh, it feels bad for both Aizawa and Dokman. Aizawa missing the spell, not connecting. He quick tapped it and it connected on the minions, but now with the turtle secured, Takenaga will get a free turtle. Nanami in a very awkward position. He needs to run away, but I don't think he survived. He even popped the split a little bit too late. That's going to force him picked off, and Takenaga looking for the dream start, and this is exactly what the Ling needs. However, PBN Strike, they have to put all their bad eggs in Blood Anzai's pocket. But Takenaga looking for a pickup once again. They get the Bragg Shell. Laney is going to be next to fall as well. GameLab, they ignore the Brody. They pick the mid lanes instead.
Bro, yeah, Brody can scale, but if the team can survive, it doesn't really matter. And her boss is just laying it into Nanami. This is a glue that took sprint, but unfortunately, I don't think he can do too much in this situation. And Dokman, he's just going to show up, buffer that dash, and Blood like, what a great dodge. That iframe is right there. Now Aizawa gets jumped on. Silence, can he get out? He does with the flicker.
Oh, that is huge defense as well. Great sidestep coming in from Blood Zanzai, making sure that he doesn't pay with his life. Leone looking for the execution. Oh, the last tick as well. He hesitated a little bit more. He needed to extend his passive ability, but at the same time, GameLab gotta be counting the lucky stars because economy-wise is in their favor. That's Voss looking for a pick-up fight as well. He dodges the Appraiser's Lab, and now with the Feather Airstrike coming in, Yuji Cheng will back off, and Havas will re-engage, take the kill. Even despite him, Takenaga gonna be showing his presence as well. They want to look for a little bit more, but guess what? They finally found Blood Anzai, the biggest picture in the game that they need to slow down, and they finally pick him off, and map control again in GameLab's favor.
That is the kind of Paquito that you love to have on your team. You play a normal game on Mobile Legends, but look at Dokman's positioning. I mean, this Kufra, you echo this in game 1, fearless. The way he's taking space for his team is unmatched. There's no one that can really contest him. It's not because he's just a Kufra, but because he has established so much space early on that there's no way for PBN Strike to reliably isolate this front line. And GameLab should get a free turtle. Takenaga, he still has that purple buff online, so he's trying to be a bit efficient with it, but this XP lane is falling apart.
Yeah, her boss is doing a fantastic job as a Paquito. He's punishing the glue a little bit more, but as soon as they say he's gonna get jumped on, making space for Takenaga to secure the turtle, but bottom lane, he's gonna get caught out, and the Appraiser Raps comes in. Her boss will finally die to glue, but Aizawa also in position to set up, but he's all by himself. Top side, GameLab wants to make sure that TZ doesn't get picked off once again, because as of yet, eventually, PBN Strike, it's all about timing. They just need to drag this game as long as they can, and it's all up to Blood Anzai to come back to the game.
My worry is how does PBN Strike try to catch UTZ? That guy has Purify, so you can't really reliably lock him down in your first rotation of crowd control. I even stole the gold crab just now from, I believe, from the Brody, from Blood Anzai. The Natalia is in the jungle, but they found him.
No.
I want to give major props to Dokman. He has been hunting this Natalia down the entire game as a Kufra.
Yeah, he knows, but at the same time, Takenaga, he's gonna get taunted up again, but the Appraiser's rough sidestep with the Tempest of Blade. He's gonna try and turn the tides, but the glue is there to save the day. They finally take down the Gling, and that's huge coming in from PBN Strike because they need to slow down the momentum. And with this pick off, gives them a little bit more opportunity to bounce back. But as soon as I say it, Havas is going to go in the wet noodle fight with Nanami. But the top side, they do take a tier 1 from UTZ.
Yeah, Havas not able to reliably chunk Nanami down this time, as Nanami has already stacked up that passive. Leone, he's gonna get shown mid, and Yunichenko just jumped on the timing! Oh, it could have been worse! Rezo didn't even have health to fight this, he didn't want to be there. Leone trying to run away, but Takenaga is on the case, and Leone gets punished. 3 free kills for GameLab.
What is that cash, Dogman? You are hacking! No way! That is crazy! How the heck did you find that angle? But guess what? He's looking for more as well. Blood-on-Zai is there, but at the same time, Aizawa getting picked off. This denying him that opportunity to shine once again. But GameLab Dogman, my God, what a god on this Kufra.
This is MVP material right there. I mean, we highlighted him right in the beginning, even though he's not on that head-to-head, but we, unanimously agree that Dogman has dictated how GameLab runs these maps, and he's gonna do it again. Nanami, you cannot just show up, not with Dogman in the brush. He's gonna try and disrupt the turtle take, but there's just no retribution in range. Takenaga gets the turtle. Nanami now goes into split. Rezo tries to go onto Dogman, but decides to back off. Nanami also escapes. Meanwhile, Blood-on-Zai and Leone gets picked off down bot. A double for UTZ.
Oh, that is huge for UTZ. But speaking of the fight as well, and look at this. Aizawa gets a fed edge from Nanami. He might be dead, but the counter ultra will be able to get him out to safety. Dogman, however, looking for an opportunity once again. He wants to go in for the strike. However, needs to play this a little bit slow. But at the same time, Dogman, he resembles the legendary Chuck Mamba from the Philippines. I swear to God, it is so much resemblance in this man right now. And speaking of which, GameLab, they will steal the orange buff away. This is not that big yet, but the bigger picture is they need another kill on Blood-on-Zai to stop him down. But as soon as I say this, her boss, he's going to get caught out. The rest of the team is going to come in, but here it comes! He didn't go in for the jump. They catch the fragile, they take him down. And that's going to be Raisho taken out of the equation. They will look to re-engage, but the tier 1 still stands. Tempest of Blade comes in for Takenaga to buy time, but they won't back out. And GameLab completely shut them down.
Rule number 1. If you don't see Dogman on the map, do not engage. He is always hiding in the wings. This guy is playing Kufra like an acrobat. I mean, how did you get solo killed by Harif?
What? He's got the feather on top of it, that
was with before the feather. So the guy's holding Chris all okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah,
okay.
that explains a lot, but we have a big problem. I just realized Nanami doesn't even have Radiant Armor yet. He went Dominus ISO. No magic resistance against UTZ.
Oh, this is kind of concerning as well, because if you think about it, they're focusing on Ling a little bit too much. Yes, Takenaga had a slow start to get a kill here and there, but all in all, UTZ and Takenaga right now is left uncontrollable. Havas is there to get a little bit of aggression. It seems like PBN Strike is just too afraid to go in for the punish. They're trying to go for a slowdown, but the Tempest Blades comes in, they connect on two. Can they get the follow-up? They get the Feather Ash as well, connects on all the called altar. And fortunately for PBN Strike, they make the right call, they backed out. And they are still keeping hopes alive because eventually they just need to buy time. But for how long? GameLab, 8K advantage. And of course, GameLab cannot afford to make mistakes, and they will try to secure the Lord now.
This game is not going to end in 10 minutes, but PBN Strike are reaching that point. GameLab will get this Lord. No contest at all. Bottom tier 2 taken out by UTZ. And the mobility from GameLab is unmatched. The PBN Strike, you cannot, like, those long distance gets close easily, and they just dive the inhibitor. They drop everything. Yojichenko can't even get out. Leone is in the back line. Can they at least trade back? They can. Aizawa and Dogman both get caught out.
That's huge. That's huge for PBN Strike. They were able to punish both Aizawa and Dogman. That's going to buy them so much time. A little bit of aggression coming from GameLab is going to give PBN Strike a little bit more space to come back in the game. UTZ, he's got some concentrated energy, but I don't think it's a big major power spike. It's got the sustainabilities, but eventually, as long as Blood-on-Zai is back, he's going to be okay. Raisho is going to be focused down, but the damage coming from UTZ, a little bit too much handle. UTZ going for the pop. He's looking for the kill on Blood-on-Zai. He gets the kill, but at the same time, Nanami trying to go for for the trade. Yuktisi says, I'm still the stronger gold laner as of yet. Look at Leone as well from the back lines. Can he finish him off? He's got the Blade of Heptasis. He shows himself. He wants to go for the snipe. He goes for the catch down as well, but the Salmon Force is there to give him the sustains. He's got the shields. The counter is a little bit slow, but Dogman, Chuck Mamba goes in making right here. They take the takedown. They take 3. The Lord still knocking in, and GameLab still 5-man healthy. They're looking to end the game. They get another catch again on Rigel. This might be over. They're focusing into the crystal, and GameLab takes 2-0.
1 extra minute compared to game 1, but what does it matter, right? The spectacle is the important one. They basically wipe the floor with the cold, dead bodies of PBN Strike. Dominant as always. I mean, what? We got a speedrun today, my friend.
Yeah.
It is the earliest timing for our broadcast to reach the ending, but we see dominance from both series.
Dominance here. GameLab, your first finalist in the Open